Welcome back to my channel Shushma in Germany. Today I am going to share with you all my living expenses in Hamburg. As a student living in Germany as well as a working professional, how much I am spending in Hamburg. I'm going to give you a real estimate, like real cost, how much I spend on rent, groceries, it can be Indian groceries or wherever I get the groceries from, travel, miscellaneous cost, shopping, internet expenses, and we travel sometimes in flights, sometimes in train as well as in buses. So which all cost will be, you know, provided by the universities, which all costs our company will provide us, which all cost I need to pay by my pocket. So everything I'm going to tell you detailedly in this vlog so that you guys can plan accordingly when you shift to Hamburg, Berlin or any bigger cities. But this vlog is going to help for people who are going to shift to Hamburg in near future. So let me not delay and come straight to the point. Yeah, let's start this vlog. The biggest expenses is obviously the rent, guys. I pay here 555 euros per month for the shared apartment, which is also called WG, where we have everything furnished. We have refrigerator, we have all the furnitures available in my room. I have my own bed, my study table, my cupboards, as well as we have access for shared kitchen and shared bathroom. The kitchen and the bathroom will be shared among the flatmates. We are living 4 people in this flat. So yeah, in this flat, means in this house we are of 4 people, so the kitchen as well as the bathroom will be shared, and I pay individually 555 euros per month the rent. So everything is included, friends. We have washing machine, we have dishwasher, everything is completely furnished. So yeah, and I pay this much. And if you want any details about how to find accommodation in Hamburg, or if you're finding any difficulties in finding accommodation in Hamburg, do let me know over the email or in Instagram. I will write down my Instagram profile details so that you can catch me up over there and then ping me out if you need any help in finding accommodation in and around Hamburg. And then let's go to the next expenses. Before going to the next expense, I want to tell you guys one thing. The reason why we live in shared apartment is it's the most biggest expenses when we live in bigger cities like Hamburg, Frankfurt, Berlin and Munich. So if you want to save a bulk amount, then it's better to stay in shared apartment just like me, because I want to save some money in my youth. So I'm sharing my apartment with others, and also I like to make friends and then hang out with friends. I cannot live alone, so that's also there. That's the reason I'm in shared apartment, and it is also a good way to make friends, new friends, and then hang out with new friends. So it's kind of a new vibe and it's kind of a new experience, we could say. Also another thing is like this is the expenses I'm paying for shared apartment, but if it's a private studio, means it's going to be very expensive, like more than 1000 euros ahead. So it's going to be a big expenses as a student who lives in Germany, I could say. Sometimes we also get it for 600 euros to 750 euros, never know. If you are a student and if you're applying for a dormitory or something like that, then you might get it in a cheaper price. But it's very obvious that you cannot find it easily, and finding accommodation in bigger cities is really difficult. So okay, let's not brag much about the apartment details or the rent costs. Let's just dig into the next expenses, that is the groceries. As an Indian living in Germany, I mostly buy veggies from Indian store as well as from German supermarkets like Rewe, Aldi, Lidl and Edeka. So my expenses will be mostly from Indian store because it's from India. You're going to get the groceries from India, imported here. So it's going to be really expensive. All the veggies are, you can check out my vlog how much per kg it costs. So for me, for monthly wise, it cost me somewhere around 80 to 100 euros, friends, because I mostly buy all the veggies like bindi, bitter gourd, bottle gourd, paneer, and all the spices, rice, atta powder, everything. Most of our groceries will be from Indian store. So for monthly it takes me 80 to 100 euros, friends. And in German supermarket it will cost me roughly around 50 euros. Roughly around 50 euros. Like snacks, eatable items, veggies like carrot, beans, these all things we can buy, capsicum, all these things we can buy from German supermarket. So because it is pretty much affordable as well. I will say in some other vlog like where we get in very cheaper price and where it's a bit expensive, which grocery stores we get, bio products and all such things. I'm going to explain in another vlog, but not in this vlog. So roughly I will spend around 130 to 150 euros for my food, that is groceries. So 550 for rent, 130 to 150 euros for my groceries. So let's get into the next thing, that is the another expense is for the transportation, which is not a main expense because since I am still a student, I have Deutschland ticket which is provided from my university. Since I am student in Germany, a public university, I study at a public university, so my expenses for transportation is zero because they like university provide us a Deutschland ticket where we can travel all over Germany for completely free. And that's a huge save for every student living in Germany. That's it, friends. And you can go on multiple trips, you can roam around because ticket is completely free and it's a win-win. Because you can travel to work as well as to study colleges, and it's actually an expensive thing in Germany. Transportation comes a bit more expensive. If you want to have a Deutschland ticket, it is somewhere around 60 euros and above, maybe 63 to 68 euros per month. So we saved 60 to 70 euros, friends. One or the other way we are paying the semester fees, from that only they are giving us the Deutschland ticket. Still, it's a huge savings, friends. Other expenses is internet and radio tax. So my internet expenses will be 25 euros per month. I have O2 SIM, so I have unlimited data O2 because I travel to work as well as for university and I need data more than the limited data. So I pay 25 euros per month. And then the radio tax, since I live in a shared apartment, the radio tax is shared among the flatmates, which we need to pay monthly. So there is one number given by the house owner that we need to register to the radio tax, which is a separate another topic that I cannot talk much here. So maximum for 3 months it will be somewhere around 50 to 70 euros, friends. So 25 euros for my internet expenses, and Wi-Fi is included already in the apartment, so I do not need to pay for Wi-Fi. This is the mobile SIM data. Okay, for that internet plan I have taken 25 euros. So that including 3 months radio tax, somewhere around 50 euros, 50 to 70 euros I have internet and radio tax expenses, if we could say. Now it comes to eating out, dining out with friends and family members. Usually I never go out on daily basis because I have a very busy schedule, and also I like to eat outside, but it's cost me very expensive, and on top of it I'm vegetarian, so I do cook often, and occasionally I go out with friends, and my expenses will be roughly around 50 euros, friends. If I go outside for dining, then if I want to grab some bubble tea or some pizzas or any Indian restaurants, if I go, then definitely it will cost more than 50 euros for me. But roughly, let me take a guess, it's going to be 50 euros, friends, not more than that for a month. Sometimes if I travel, then 50 to 100 euros, but mostly it's 50 euros most of the months. So let's take restaurants and all these miscellaneous cost eatable items, 50 to 70 euros per month. It depends from one individual to individual. Some people like to eat outside as they will be very stressed from work once they come home, so they order food, but I prefer home food. So that's another save for me. Let's go to the next expenses now. Another expense is shopping. Since we have different season in Germany, we need different outfits for every season. So that's going to be a huge expenses as well for me, but I don't know about others. So for jackets, for boots and shoes, every other thing we have to purchase. So and I separately keep some of the money which I get as a salary for my shopping, and it will cost roughly around 100 euros. This month I spent really a lot, maybe somewhere around 250 to 300 euros. In Indian currency is 30,000. But usually monthly, if I divide it and say, it will be not more than 100 euros, friends. So yeah, monthly 100 euros I do spend on clothing and cosmetics, skincare products and all such things. So shopping, let's take, it can be even household items like keeping things aesthetically, or it can be anything. So yeah, shopping, I'll keep a separate budget, so 100 euros will keep it as for shopping. Next expenses is for traveling. As I told already, the transportation is completely for free to travel in and around Germany. But when we have to travel another country, then definitely we need to spend a lot on traveling. So I do save every month some sort of amount so that I can travel quarterly. So I do save per month at least 50 to 100 euros so that I can travel quarterly somewhere, except Germany, where I can go to the neighboring countries. I would always love to explore other countries. So yeah, so far it's been 10 countries I've been exploring and waiting for another country to go with. Let's see in summer what will happen. So yeah, my travel expenses minimum it will be 100 euros I will save, because since I work for organization Lufthansa, where we also get some of the discounts for flights. So I cannot completely tell how much I save. I am giving a rough estimate that how much I can spend on transportation, not definitely the exact amount, because I get discounts on flights and things like that, and Deutschland is completely free. So for me, actually, transportation as well as the traveling cost is a big saving. Still, when you travel another country, when you go to the other country, still there will be some of the expenses. So we need to save some money when we travel to other countries. So I would always love to save 50 to 100 euros per month for travel. The last section is miscellaneous costs. Sometimes the unexpected expenses will come into the picturization, because this is life. It can be friends birthday or anything, so we need to purchase some of the gifts and things like that will be there in and around. Or maybe we are funding someone, or it can be gifting our family members. So I do save 50 euros for that, in such a way that it won't give me a burden at the end when I travel to India. So in total, I'm going to tell you guys how much I spent per month. Is 900 to 1000 euros I spent while living in Hamburg. Hamburg is really an expensive city, so it's really expensive, especially the rent. In total, as a student living in Hamburg, I do spend 900 euros to 1000 euros per month. So this is my expenses. It can be different from one person to another person, so we cannot compare. And also, living in very big cities like Hamburg, Berlin and Frankfurt, rent comes the biggest expense. Rest all things can be adjustable. Some people can even manage with 700 to 800 euros, but it's better always to have 900 to 1000 euros, which is our block money. That is the reason we block 1000 euros, at least 1000 euros per month. I don't know as per the new rules now how much we do need for block money, but we do need when we live in big cities like Hamburg. At least for me, I need 900 to 1000 euros, friends. I hope this vlog is very clear to all of you who had undoubtedly many questions in your head. So hopefully you all got an idea how much I spend and how much expenses will be there on big cities like Hamburg. I hope you all like this video, and if you have any questions, do comment. And if you have any thoughts about coming up vlogs, how you want me to vlog, or what topics I do need to make a vlog, you can comment me down. And if you have any doubts regarding the rental things and which websites to use, as well as whom to contact, all these things I can provide details. You can just DM me or Instagram and I will be available. I'll try to solve your questions, hopefully. So yeah, Hopefully all this information will be beneficial for you guys. See you in my next vlog. Until then, everyone, take care. Tata.